Welcome to Straight from the Muzzle, folks, where we are anything but straight. My name is Space.
And I'm Star.
And we welcome you to our episode, which is about what today?
Bluey!
Bluey, the TV show. The super cute TV show that's just for kids and not adults, right?
Absolutely not.
I
There's
know.
not millions of adults that, watch it on the daily, myself included. So
Right. It's a cute show. It's one that hasn't come up as a request yet, but you really wanted to do it.
I did.
Yeah, so I thought it would be perfect because Star is kind of like an expert. I'm not as much.
I wouldn't say an expert, but my fiance and I definitely watch it almost on the daily. Like I said earlier, we were watching it again because we watched all the episodes available on Disney Plus. But now we're watching it again because it's so wholesome and it's so cute. And it's really nice to just kind of relax.
I did ask some people on Twitter what their favorite episode was and why. So we'll get to those a little bit later. This is a little bit of a bigger episode. So we're going to go ahead and get started now without all the other jibber jabber, which will happen because it always does.
It does.
So take it away.
Awesome. Well, cool. So Bluey, all right, so what is it? So Bluey is an Australian preschool animated TV series. It premiered on ABC Kids around October 1st of 2018. The episodes range about 8 minutes long, which honestly they do so well with cramming so much into 8 minutes. Like it's crazy. They really are like 8 minutes long. So.
It's like 9 minutes long with the intro, but
yeah. It's like, 8 to 9 minutes, like 10 minutes tops. I think there's a couple episodes that like are 10 minutes they kind of go over, but they range about 8 minutes.
You think that like within an episode of 9 minutes, like you said, a lot is covered in it and you wouldn't really notice if you weren't paying attention that they were only 9 minutes. So you could probably watch a couple episodes and assume, oh, that was just one episode.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So far they have 3 seasons. As I said, we like my fiance and I, we watched it on Disney Plus. Not all of season 3 is on Disney Plus. I think that's honestly just mostly because season 3 is not done yet, as far as I'm aware of. So hopefully they put those episodes on there. Otherwise, I'm just going to find them on YouTube or TikTok. So
let me see where Bluey actually streams.
I think it's just Disney Plus, as far as I know. There might be some pirated something out there that's like, Bluey Central.
Let's see.
Side note, I might burp.
In the US. So Disney Plus, Disney Now, Disney Junior, Disney Channel. I think I also saw that Hulu carries Bluey, but you have to buy their like premium package. So there's like the regular package, the premium, and then like premium plus or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it probably just has the same episodes though too.
Okay, all your options are Disney Now, Fubo TV, Hulu, YouTube, Sling, Apple, and Disney Plus.
Nice.
Wow, 9.5 out of 10 on IMDb. That is pretty good.
That does not surprise me. It really doesn't. So Bluey is a show that follows anthropomorphic dogs, specifically about the one who is, the name of the show, which is Bluey. Bluey is actually part of a small little family of healers, which is just, another dog breed, which I actually recently discovered today, like 5 minutes ago, that I guess originally the healer breed was from dingoes and then Australian shepherds, which I guess explains the marbling. So that's pretty cool. The show also uses a lot of classical music in its episodes, and this has brought a higher appreciation and attention to classical music in younger generations. So that one episode where Bingo and Bluey get ice cream, I can't remember which classical piece it is, but it's a very well-known popular one. They just kind of go in a circle and they're just trying to eat this ice cream, and it's so funny because you see the droplets of ice cream just fall on the ground. It's so sad because they never get to eat their ice cream.
Let's see. So I started rewatching Bluey today around noon, and it wasn't until about 2 or 3 o'clock that I started realizing, oh, that is classical music in the background. And they play it for almost every episode. That's really interesting. Mm-hmm. I didn't even notice because it didn't sound boring. They kind of made it upbeat a little bit. So it's a little bit more fun, not so drab, which actually works out really well.
Yeah, it does. Also, what's really neat in the show Bluey is that it's pretty, it's pretty up to date. It's not just dad going to work. It's not just mom going to work. Both parents go to work at some point in time during the show. As far as I know, it's not explicitly mentioned exactly what Bandit does, but there's heavy evidence that he's an archaeologist, because if you go to episodes where he's in his office, in the one corner he's got a cabinet that's got skulls and bones and different artifacts and stuff that he's dug up. And then he also tends to work far away, so he often goes to the airport and goes to fly away. He's gone for a couple weeks at a time, so he's got a job that takes up a lot of time. Chili works at an airport, and I think she's a bomb sniffer. So,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Bandit's an archaeologist.
yep, Bandit
And
is
then
Mark.
Mom, or they call her Mum.
Mum.
Mum works at airport security.
That's right. Airport security. Gotta sniff out those bombs.
Someone's got to do it.
I mean, I don't know. She could do something else. She could just be like what is it? The airport, like the attendants or whatever. The people that are like on the plane, they're like, would you like a snack? I don't know. I've never been on a plane, so I don't know what they do. But yeah, so that's what I think they do for occupations. Characters. There's a wide range of characters, all like different colors and shapes. So obviously you got your main ones. You got Bluey. She's the 6-year-old blue heeler puppy who is super energetic and full of imagination and curiosity. Shockingly enough, Bluey's not my favorite character. Sometimes she's a bitch. Sometimes she's just a bitch to poor Bingo, and I feel really bad. I have a lot of tenderness for Bingo. Bingo is Bluey's like 4-year-old little sister.
Bingo's my favorite.
I love Bingo. She is my favorite. She's just so cute and so pure. I mean, she joins Bluey and like all of their friends on like adventures and imaginative play, but like she's hilarious. Like the one episode where they're sitting around like at the dinner table and they're talking about like their day and what they've done. And at first I feel a little bad because Bluey's like, well, Bingo said something really funny, and then like kind of teases her and makes fun of her. But then like she's like, well, I don't like you doing that. So that's not like, your favorite part of the day. But later on, they'd like find out what Bingo's had said. And it was actually difficult. Like she tried to say tricky and difficult.
It was
and
so,
it was so cute.
And it's funny because it starts off like with it as a problem, and at the very end, she uses that word, Bingo uses difficult, as a joke. So it's really cute how they come around with that.
It is cute. I love Bingo. She's my favorite. She's just so cute. You have Bandit, which we mentioned is Bluey and Bingo's dad. I love Bandit so much. Like that's also within, I'm going to call it the Bingo fandom, because there's just such a large fan base for this show. People have said that Bandit is definitely like a bisexual icon. So like it's never mentioned, but like he definitely, like you can tell that's a bisexual man.
I just found Buff Bandit.
Buff Bandit? Oh
yeah, I just posted a picture of it for you.
What the fuck?
I did the one thing one person should never do.
Oh no.
While you're talking, I've gone on to for Affinity, and I've turned my NSFW filter on just because I wanted to see what would come up, because Rule 34. And then I searched for Bluey, and Bandit comes up, and he's a buff daddy.
Now see, that's okay, but like
it gets worse.
Oh god, I don't think I want to know.
I mean, it's kind of weird. I wish they wouldn't do things with the kids, but I'm sure people don't have a sense. But the mom and dad, they do things with them. It's funny looking.
Oh my gosh.
Like the fatties that I sent you.
Oh god, yeah, I saw that. That's weird. I think I'm good.
That's interesting.
It is weird. But no, Bandit is a total rock star. He's not only like playing whatever wild games his daughters come up with, but he's also like teaching them valuable lessons, and also is learning a thing or two himself, because like obviously I'm assuming that Bandit's like a young dad, and he's just going along with it too. I will mention this episode later on too, but like there's a specific episode which like when I watched it, and I've seen it a couple times now, but like I really liked it. It was where like Bingo was like trying to find her voice, and like she felt kind of scared to talk to her dad about, hey, don't play with me so rough, because I'm not as old as Bluey. And I loved that episode because like they came to Bandit with the problem. Yeah.
I just love her little bark when she has to alert someone.
I know, it's cute. But when she comes up to Bandit, like they talk about it, like Bandit doesn't like brush it off. He's not like, oh, well, you're being ridiculous and whatever, because I'll be honest, like in my experience, like growing up, like the parent was like, oh, just rub it off, or, just, forget about it, or, just walk it off or whatever, or toughen up. But no, he's just like, hey, I acknowledge that, I was a little rough with you. How can I, fix this? And he does. And he works with himself to be better for not only himself, but like for his kids. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Bandit, why are you like the rock star dad? Like, what the hell? I think besides like Bingo, he's definitely like a close second. He's really cool. And we have Chili. Chili is Bluey and Bingo's mom. I love Chili as well. Chili, we also found out, I looked up, Chili often gives either her kids or Bandit like the mom look. And it's hilarious because all of them react, and I'm like, oh, I love it. It's so funny.
I didn't know who Chili was when you were talking about her like in chat, and I'm like, who the hell is Chili? And then I realized that's her name. And
that's her name.
But they rarely say each other's names though. They go mom or dad. Like
Yeah.
in the episodes, it's only like when the parents are talking with each other specifically that they will say each other's names every once in a while.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when like the adult friends like talk to each other, they'd say Bandit or Chili, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, all of the characters have such like cute and creative names. I love it.
If you guys want to go into more details as to who the characters are, like specific, there are 4 characters, just the main ones like Bluey, Bingo, Bandit, and Chili that you can find on bluey.tv/characters. And it goes and it kind of tells you a little bit more details about them. It's also a great guide if you're watching it and you're not quite sure who's who. This is perfect to look at because you can look at it and they've got lots of fun stuff on here. But I think one thing on here about Bluey is it says her parents and teacher give her lots of time to practice, which means she becomes very good at inventing games and helping everyone choose their roles and also deciding. And she's kind of also a bitch. Well, I mean, she is, like you said, like
Oh, she
is
is.
just like
She can be.
I feel like she's always like, I don't know, pushing Bingo aside or using Bingo's like, you know, choices, like for instance, in dance mode.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, come on, girl.
So, you know, actually, now that you mention it, and like, so I might get a little bit psychological here, mostly because I'm working on myself and I'm like in therapy and whatnot. And like,
Who
I also
isn't,
love,
you know?
I know, right?
It happens.
So, like, I guess I am an older sister. So, like, I guess if I really, really think about it, I guess I understand Bluey a little bit now that I'm really thinking about it, because, like, you do kind of want to just, you know, do what you want to do and, like, you know, kind of persuade that younger sibling to do what you would like, you know, and what you think would be best. But really, you know, you have to, like, you know, let your younger siblings, like, have a turn and, you know, show their true colors and stuff. So, like, I guess I get it, but also, like, man, I hope I wasn't that much of a bitch. Like, I hope I wasn't that much of a brat, like, growing up. I don't think I was, but you never know.
Yeah.
But I think this is just a normal. So, okay, here we go. With me rambling. I think, to put it simply, the show really shows like a healthy sibling relationship, because these siblings, like, they have disagreements, but like they're not fighting, but like they have normal disagreements and then they come together, you know, and then they apologize, they realize their faults, and then they continue on. And so do the parents. The parents do the same thing. Like they're continuously, you know, learning and growing. And even though they have their disagreements, they still, you know, they just come together at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's normal to have disagreements, especially like in a sibling relationship. For example, I have an older sister, and when growing up, her and I didn't get along at all. Like I don't know what it was. Like my older brother and I, we were thick as thieves, and we're still thick as thieves. And like, I don't know. I just got along better with him growing up. I think it was just because we had similar interests, and I just was not interested in anything that my older sister Ashley was into. So no. However, now that we're both, you know, adults and whatnot, I love my older sister, Ashley. Like, she is fantastic. I talk to her almost every day, and like, we've really kind of grown like really close. But like I said, the show really shows, I guess, or demonstrates rather, healthy sibling relationships and family dynamics. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta stretch. Okay.
Do a bit of stretch.
Do a bit of a stretch. Let's see. Well, I am going to mention some honorable character mentions here. There's Calypso, which is Bluey's school teacher, which she is fantastic. I think she's an Australian Shepherd. That's what she looks like anyway.
Let me look and see if it says. Yeah, she's an Australian Shepherd.
Yeah. So Calypso is really cool. I love the way that like she teaches and such. There's an episode where all of the other children are playing except for like the one new one, and his name is Pretzel. I love him. He's so cute. But like he's just off in like the corner, like just minding his own business and not like really doing anything. He looks bored. He's not really interacting with the other kids, but like, you know, the teacher's not like forcing him to play with the other kids. You know, Calypso's just like, yeah, he'll come around, you know, when he feels like it. And she's like talking to the other kids and like interacting with them and coming back to Pretzel once in a while. And she's like, you doing okay? You know, he's just like, yeah, I'm fine. And just sits there. But by the end of the episode, he ends up like creating his own little game, coming out of his shell a little bit. And it's really cute because then she's like, well, while you're doing that, I would like you to meet somebody. And like, it's just a really neat transition. So Calypso's really cool. She's just a dope teacher. It's the teacher that we all want.
But we never got. We were stuck with other people.
I mean, I had one teacher growing up that was actually really cool. She was actually my first and third grade teacher. Goodness. But no, she was really neat.
Yeah.
Not like Calypso, but she was just cool. She pulled out my tooth once. That's so.
What?
Yeah, no. Yeah, and she, for whatever reason, like, she really liked pulling out kids' teeth when they had loose teeth. So, like, anytime that, like, a kid had, like, a loose tooth, she's like, I'll pull it out for you. And, like, she'd grab, like, a little tissue and, like, yank it out.
Oh, my God.
So she definitely pulled a tooth out of my face once. So.
Goodness, no. None of my teachers ever did that. No.
No, she was cool. I've only seen her once in like my adult life, and I was like, oh my God, Mrs. Ross? And she was like, oh my gosh, hi. And I'm like, how do you know who I am? I'm like, goodness.
Anyone knows who you are. No.
Oh, actually, that's true. That's true. It doesn't happen as much now because I live in a different city, but like, yeah, no. If I go to like where I used to live, like that town, I can't go into Walmart without somebody be like, oh my God, are you so and so? I'm like, shut the fuck up. No, I'm not.
Go away.
Go away.
Shoo, shoo, shoo.
Oh my gosh. Get out of here.
I don't want to talk to you. Go away.
Right.
Most of the time, I just look at someone, I'll kind of give them like the resting bitch face and be like, I don't know you. And sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do. And I just like walk away. I don't want to talk to them. It's this weird thing, right? Like you go into a Walmart, you're kind of doing your thing. Do you want to talk to someone that you know, like all of a sudden randomly coming up to you? Not really.
No, not really. Sometimes I'm just doing my thing. And
if I saw a friend there, yeah, I probably would, go up and say hi to them. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. Is shopping in your mind very much similar to the principle of not talking to someone in the bathroom? It's weird.
Oh, that's fun. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. So have fun with that.
Oh,
and then we have Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc.
Who is Bluey's French friend from the camping episode.
I love the camping episode. It's so cute.
What season is that?
That, I have it marked here somewhere. Computer, I would love to do the thing if you would let me do the thing, Lord.
Let her do the thing.
Oh my God.
It
wouldn't let me do it. I gotta open it up over here because it decided not to. No, this is not Dora.
Snot Dora?
Snot. It's not.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to go over some other characters that aren't mentioned in our notes.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So there are a whole slew of characters like Muffin, who's Bluey's nonstop cousin. What does that mean? Nonstop cousin.
Nonstop?
That's literally what the website says. This is on Bluey's main website.
I mean, she's pretty unstoppable.
Oh, maybe that's why.
She does
nonstop, always speaks her mind.
Oh my God. Coconuts have water in them.
Jack, who's a Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh my God, yes.
He's a lively Jack O. And then his best friend is Rusty.
Yes, I mentioned that episode in the notes somewhere.
Rusty, who is Bluey's friend from the bush. By the way, if you don't know Australian culture, the bush is kind of like out in the wild area.
That makes sense.
The bush, like stuff. Already rides a motorbike. How? Isn't he like 6? Aren't they all the same age?
Wait, who is it?
Rusty.
Bluey's
from the bush. Already rides a motorbike.
No.
He's got to be a healer as well.
No, I think he's something
Let's
else.
See. How old is Rusty?
Rusty is
from Bluey.
Very young.
6. He is 6-yeared. And he is a red Kelpie, apparently. That's a dog.
Oh,
breed.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's mentioned at one point. Oh, yeah, that is mentioned in the episode called Army, because that's when Jack and Rusty meet. They're so cute.
Muffin, which we already went over. Muffin is Bluey and Bingo's absolutely unhinged cousin.
Uh-huh.
So crazy. Talk about Brandy.
Oh, Brandy.
And it's funny because they don't even mention Brandy in the list.
I think that's probably because she's a relatively quote unquote like new character because she's not mentioned until season 3. And
Yeah.
it's unfortunately an episode that's not on Disney Plus yet. So I watched bits and pieces of this episode on TikTok. And when like, I guess the meaning of the episode like hit me, it kind of like shattered my heart a little bit because it's really sad. Like Brandy is Chili's older sister and Brandy's never around very often. And in the episode, it's mentioned that like she hasn't seen Bluey or Bingo like since they were like 2 or something, like since they were like really little kids. So like she like almost never comes around. So in this episode, like she gets to interact with the kids and like, you know, kind of find out who her nieces are and whatnot. And at some point in time during the episode, Bluey kind of asks like why like Brandy never comes around, you know, why she seems like to be a bit sad like around Bluey and Bingo. And it is later, they don't say it outright, but you definitely know this is why like it's not just a kids show. This is definitely a show that like has so much more deeper meaning. So Brandy she can't have kids. So like that's kind of what they, you know, what they're getting at is that like Brandy can't have, you know, children, and that's something that she really, really wants. And that's kind of why she doesn't like come around very often, because I think it just kind of makes
reminder.
Yeah, it's a reminder that, you know, she can't have the thing that her sister has. However, I think if I remember correctly, during like the end pieces of like the episode, I think she kind of like decides she is going to come and, you know, visit more often because those are her nieces and she should. You know, it's not their fault that she can't have kids. So there was something mentioned that's, there was a fan that put a comment under one of the videos on TikTok and they were like, what if, I don't know if they'll do this, but it would be totally amazing if like the creators did this, but like if they had an episode where they're like, okay, we're gonna go to Brandy's house, and then, you know, like, yay, first time over at Brandy's house, and then like they see like a kid there and it's not a healer and it's like some other breed of dog, meaning like Brandy would like adopt. And I'm like, that's such a good idea.
That would be a great idea.
That would be so cool. Like, I hope that they kind of do that because that's also like representation is so important. And I'm really happy to see. And like the subject itself is sad. But like, again, it's just representation. So that's just something that's really nice to see in a show. They do it again. I had it and then I lost it. They do. Oh, nope, I got it. So there's another episode where like, something very similar is mentioned where it's called The Show. I know that I mentioned it in like the episodes that have like impact. So it's in season 2. It's episode 19. It's called The Show. So it's Mother's Day. And
it's literally called The Show.
Yeah, it's just called The Show. So, but it's Mother's Day and like Bluey and Bingo prepare like chili at breakfast and Bingo accidentally drops the breakfast and she's like, well, I'm a failure, you know, I'm just gonna mess things up. And then eventually they end up putting on like this show and I found the instance to be really comical. It's actually sad, but like the way that it happens is really funny to me. But like, so during like Bingo and Bluey's like little show that they're showing Chili and Bandit, Bingo like stuffs a balloon underneath like a shirt. Okay. And it's like, so like, oh, you know, pregnant or whatever. And then the balloon accidentally pops and like all of them freeze except for like Bandit. He reaches over and like touches like Chili's hand. And I was like, oh no, that means that there was a miscarriage before Bluey. And I'm like, oh shit. So
I wonder.
Like, I'm pretty sure that, you know, either A, it's like sympathy for potentially like Chili might have had a miscarriage, or it's like, oh, well, your sister can't have any kids. So that's really sad. But I thought the instance was funny because like everybody just like froze and was like, so like it was a sad moment, but I found it to be comical because I don't know, that's just me. But also in that episode I'm going to bring up is that there is a quote that gets brought up and a lot of people have been using it on like TikTok and whatnot, and it's super true in life as well. But like in this episode, while Bingo is, you know, sad and, you know, thinking that she can't, you know, go on and can't do it, like earlier in the episode Chili had told her, you know, hey, you know, when I'm feeling sad or, you know, feel like I can't go on, you know, I remind myself that I'm allowed to cry, and then I just pick myself up, I dust myself off, and then I keep going. So then that's what Bingo ends up doing later on. She's like, Bluey, what's the checklist? And she goes, you know, have a cry. And she like cries a little bit. And she says, pick myself up, dust myself up, and keep going. And it's so cute. But like, yeah, so really just cry a little bit if you have to, pick yourself off, dust yourself off, and go. So like, It's so cute. I love like the little life lessons in here, like this show. It's so good. Oh man, so that's Brandy. Brandy
That's
and a
Brandy.
little bit of side tangent there. So we do have Uncle Stripe and Uncle Rad, which are Bandit's brothers. Uncle Stripe is Muffin and Socks. That's their dad. And then Uncle Rad is mentioned in like 1 or 2 episodes.
He must not be a main character because he's not even on this list.
No, he's not like a very prominent character. You see Uncle Stripe more than Uncle Rad. Uncle Rad, I think, just lives farther away, but he's really cool. Hence the name. His name's actually Radley, but like they just call him Uncle Rad. He ends up falling in love with Bluey and Bingo's like babysitter, and then they get together, and I'm like, that's cute. So
that's adorable.
It is adorable. There's also like your other kid characters. So you have Mackenzie, Chloe, Honey, Judo, which I hate Judo. She's such a bitch. Oh my God. Judo is the kid that like her mom has like everything and it tells her child, oh my God, you're the best. And you know, you're just better than everybody else, obviously. And like just Judo's a little snot and like, oh my God, I want to punch her in the face. She's such a bitch. Like, there's an episode, it's called Butterflies, I think. But, like, Bluey and Bingo are pretending to be butterflies, and Judo's there. Judo is, like, really annoyed by Bingo because she's a little kid, you know, and Bluey and Judo are the similar age. So she convinces Bluey to run away from Bingo, which then hurts Bingo's feelings because that's not
hate. But at the same time, Bluey kind of realizes this and runs away from, basically, she pulls a Judo and runs away from Judo, but doesn't tell Judo. So
yeah, that's a good episode too.
It's a good episode.
It's so good. Oh man,
I consent. I'm following someone on for Affinity, and it's like at the bottom, it's like, do you consent to all cookies? And I'm like, yes, to every single website.
All of the cookies, give them to me.
It drives me nuts. It's everywhere.
It is. I think it's become more prominent. It's so annoying. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, just yes, all of the cookies. Just give me a glass of milk too. Like, dang.
I'm over it.
I will say the overall audience reception to Bluey has been, it's definitely skyrocketed. I want to say over the past like year at least.
Yeah.
And even though it is geared more towards children, it definitely has something for everybody to enjoy. And like I've said previously in this episode where like, it's not just for kids. There are themes and things in here that like adults will understand. And it's actually showing a lot of like adults and parents, like there's a way to parent like this, like, let me just say this show, I wish that I had like Chili and Bandit as like my mom and dad because holy crap. Like they are so supportive.
So understanding.
And so patient and like,
oh my God, yeah.
Oh my God. And like, you know, they play with their kids. And like, I've read that like the show is really showing like other parents like, oh, like, you know, I can play with my kids, you know, and really interact with them. And they're learning a lot more about like their children and stuff like that. So like, it's so cool. It's gained a lot of traction with older generations and older generations, myself included, have found like comfort and enjoyment in like the imagination and deeper meaning and themes and stuff. It's so good. It's really nice. For some people, like I'm gonna myself included, I'm outing myself right now, but myself included because trauma. But anyway, so for some people, this is a great show for like those who practice little space. So like this is such a good show to just sit down and like, you know, it's so pure, it's fun, it's colorful and bright. So like when you're really feeling stressed out, just watch an episode of Bluey. It's so good. Yeah. Just get in the little space.
It's a good reminder of life lessons, and there's so many out there, even when you're not like really realizing it. The life lessons that they teach in there are just subtle reminders to ourselves that it's okay, or, you know, just to remember, oh yeah, I do remember this, and maybe I should look at it this way instead. So it's a good show for everyone, which is odd because not all cartoons are like that. Not all kid shows are like that. God forbid. There are some terrifying kid shows out there like Booba.
Oh my God, yes.
Teletubbies. You know, like
I never
those are
liked Teletubbies. That scared me as a child.
Show was weird as fuck.
Yeah.
So
do you hear that they're rebooting Teletubbies?
No, why?
Yes.
Is it like a Teletubbies for adults?
No, I think they're just rebooting it for like a younger generation.
Telehubbies.
No. God, I hope not.
Telebubbies, and they're just a bunch of old people.
Oh my God.
A bunch of old Teletubbies.
And like the son is not a baby anymore, it's just an old man. It's just,
Yeah.
it doesn't like come up like, from over the hill, like rising. It doesn't laugh. It's just like, hey, get off your damn lawn. Like,
Yep.
oh my God. No, I don't know what it is.
And then before we go into more, I just wanted to kind of go over all the other little characters real quick.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of fun other characters. There's Lucky, who's the adventurous next door neighbor. Oh, he's the other neighbor. Okay.
And then Lucky's dad, who I have no idea what his name is. It's just Lucky's dad.
Mackenzie, who's a quick sociable from New Zealand. Indy, who's super open and imaginative. She's the classic gluten-free, all-natural girl.
Yep.
Honey, who's assertive, thoughtful, and mindful. Coco, she's a pink poodle.
Oh, Coco.
Snickers, I love Snickers, especially in Shadowlands.
So cute.
Gosh, and I think he's a wiener dog.
He is a wiener dog. Well, they call him a sausage dog. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Because they don't say wiener. They're like,
yeah.
Little sausage.
And when he runs and he's so short and he can barely keep up, and it's so cute. Chloe, who is Bluey's best friend. Judo. We already went over Judo. Jean-Luc. The Terriers. I've only seen the Terriers in the Calypso episode.
Yes, the Terriers are cute.
They're unstoppable forces of nature. They're little terriers. Socks, who's Muffin's baby sister. Super cute. Missy. Haven't seen very much of Missy. Super brave when she's ready. Buddy. We went over Calypso. Winton, an obedient breed. Aunt Trixie. Bluey and Bingo's aunt.
I think Trixie is, if I remember correctly, I think Trixie is married to their Uncle Rad now. I think that's what it is, if I remember correctly.
So she was married to Uncle Stripe.
No. Wait. Okay. Hold on. Hang on a second.
Uncle Stripe and Uncle Trixie are married, I thought.
Oh, then yes. Okay. Who is the babysitter?
And then there's Nana and Granddad. Oh, and Bentley.
Bentley. Babysitter's name. What is her name? Frisky. That's her name. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I bet.
No. Frisky. That's fine. I was like, no, that can't be right. Okay.
Anyways, so those are all the actual characters. I'm sure if more get added, then they'll add more. If you want to, I'll include this in the information below so you guys can click and see who we're talking about as we're going through different episodes, which right now we're going to be talking about episodes that have a lot of impact.
So I actually realized that I put that right in the middle of my other notes, but that's okay. We can talk about impactful episodes and then we'll get to the other pieces which I was reading, but that's okay.
You know what? Let's just, we will just skip over that then, and we'll come back to episodes with a lot of impact.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
So we're going to, Qrow, go ahead. Oh yeah, by the way, Skitherix changed his name. He's now Qrow.
Dope.
Qrow. And he's going off of the RAM that was created by Dear Dog when we did the mood boards.
Dude, that's dope. I love it.
I'm telling you, everyone that's done the mood boards has created a new character.
They really have.
Persona based off of it. Oh, it's so cool.
It's I literally I look at mine all the time and I'm like, I love this character. And now that, here's the side tangent. But now that I am moved out and I live I live on my own, quote unquote, but with my fiance, but what I'm saying, I'm more free to express and find out who I am. But I'm the more that I discover about myself and I look at this persona, I'm that's me. I'm that right there. I'm that's me. Holy that's crap. Cool. It's so cool. It's really neat to look at. I might burp. Who knows? It's in there. Oh. It's stuck. It's not coming out. It's fine. Anyway.
I was just trying to force one up and I'm no, acid.
I don't want to.
No, thank you.
You don't want to accidentally puke and then be gross.
No.
Anyway, goodness.
All right, let's get back to audience reception.
Yes, so overall audience reception was really, really good. Praise for its depiction of supportive and constructive parenting and a great father figure who, like I said, I'll never stop ranting about how great Bandit is as a dad, because he not only encourages play with his kids, but he's willing to take part in all of the chores needing done around the house. Bandit also actively listens to his children's needs and concerns as well, and also apologizes when he is in the wrong. Which actually not a whole lot of parents will do that. I'm going to tell you what, my parents never admitted when they were wrong. And there have been times where when I think about it, hey, you messed up and, you never apologized for it. So trauma. Anyway.
Yeah.
But like what I really like about it is that like, both mom and dad will apologize, and be like, hey, I'm not always right. I may be the parent, but I'm not always right. And like, I have wronged you. Like, I apologize. Like, let's fix it. So that's something that's been really cool. And like I said, like a lot of like real world parents are learning things themselves from this show. So it's really cool to see that. So like, hooray for healthy parenting. We love it. So I'm sure everybody knows what Peppa Pig is or who Peppa Pig is. But when that show was all the rave, I don't think it's quite as popular as it was before, but Peppa Pig started a trend with children. They started speaking in more British accents, and it's hilarious because they were watching the show so much. So what's happening now is that because Bluey's really kicking off and, more people are watching it, their children are picking up on Australian accents, and it is so cute. It's so funny. So I'm like, well, it's adorable. It's too funny and it's really cute. So here's back to like your one mentioned earlier with the Rule 34 and whatnot. Some adults think that the cartoon will become something like the My Little Pony situation did, and like adults referring, themselves as like bronies, like they did with My Little Pony.
Oh.
And wonder what like Bluey fanatics will do like to the show.
Call themselves Blueys, I guess?
I don't know. Or peelers. I don't know.
Did you say healers or peelers?
No, healers. Yeah, healers.
Yeah.
But like, I totally get their concern.
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen fan art, but I haven't seen enough to have it be like a movement.
Right, yeah.
So I think we're good.
Yeah. I've totally seen people make their own like Bluey sonas, or even put like their personas in the Bluey like artwork, which like I would love to see your dog do that with like our personas. That'd be so cute.
Yeah.
But that's what some adults are kind of like. They're like, no, it's just a children's show. Like, adults get off of it, like whatever. No, it's definitely a show that's, also for older people too. But also like on the My Little Pony thing, like that show in itself, definitely some episodes were not necessarily like just for kids. Like that show has so much lore. Like,
oh yeah.
There's an episode in season 3, I think. Season 2 or season 3, it's been forever since I've seen it, but like where, for example, Cerberus escapes from Tartarus, and then later on they're like, oh, this evil bad guy is out from Tartarus because Cerberus left his post like all those years ago. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so like you said, I don't think it's gonna get to that point. If it does, well, whatever. So let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Just don't turn it into something weird.
Yeah. So let's talk about some episodes that have a lot of impact on people.
These are just a few that I could like skim through and find real quick, or ones that I could think of. So I might be missing a few, but if you wanted to go ahead and start off with the first one, you can.
Sure. So in season 1, episode 16, it's called Yoga Ball. When Bandit is spending the day working from home, Bluey and Bingo steal a yoga ball chair from his desk and insist that he play with them. Bingo feels disheartened when Bandit is being too rough. That's when they're playing games and stuff. And, of course, Bluey's like, yay. And then all of a sudden, like, Bandit is really rough with Bingo. And she's just like, oh, like makes that the kind of like this.
It's so cute.
Like this kind of noise.
Yeah.
And it's not until the mom steps in and she asks what's going on. And
I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can hear the beeping.
I can't. I was like, what is that?
I'm sorry. I really hope it shuts up. Oh, it's gone.
It looks like they did. Yeah.
Thank God.
And so basically the mom helps Bingo get this big girl bark. And so the big girl bark is like, arf, like that. And so it's just super cute. It's a great episode just talking about like how you can't treat one person the same as another person. They have to be treated differently. So of course you got a bigger girl. You got Bluey, who's 6, who doesn't mind it being rough. And then you got Bingo, who's 4, who doesn't like it rough. And so it's a really good, reminder that can't really do the same thing for each person.
Right.
Yeah.
That episode's really cute. I've watched it a couple times. It's so cute.
I haven't seen the second or the third or the fourth, fifth. I haven't seen most of these other ones that you've mentioned.
Oh, no. Okay.
You're on your own, girlfriend.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, my gosh. So this one is season 1, episode 32. It was Bumpy and the Wise Old Wolfhound. This episode was before I started watching it on Disney Plus, but I first saw like a clip. Oh, my gosh. I almost died. Excuse me.
Don't die.
Well, I hope not. but I first saw like a clip of it on TikTok. And so it showed Bingo was in the hospital and she was like sick and whatnot. And I'm like, what? What's wrong with Bingo? And it was really sad. And she was like, Mom, I just want to go home. And like, she can't go home yet. And it's not explicitly said like what's wrong with Bingo. And I'm kind of glad that they do that because basically the show, like this episode, just lets you know everybody gets sick, you know, and it's okay. But basically, so Bingo is sick and in the hospital, she receives a video from Bluey. It's a short film that she made with Bandit and like the family and a few friends. And the story is about a young dog called Bumpy and who gets sick and her owner Barnacus. I love the names that they come up with. It's so fucking cute. Who like supports her through like the period of like, you know, difficulty. And like in the episode, Bluey takes it's actually like her younger cousin Socks who's playing Bumpy and Bluey is Barnacus, but like she takes her, you know, to different people and is like, oh, you know, well, can you help Bumpy? Like, you know, she's sick, like, you know, what do I do? And later on she just figures out, oh, well, you know, everybody gets sick and, you know, and that's okay. And, you know, eventually they get better. So really it's just like she sent the video to like really just comfort her sister and it was so cute. But yeah, it was just an episode like, hey, you know, everybody gets sick. Like I said, I'm glad that they didn't say like explicitly what was wrong with Bingo, because then it like doesn't like say, oh, well, you know, you got sick because of this or that. It's just representation. Everybody gets sick and ends up in the hospital, you know, at some point in time in their lives. So it was cute. There is season 1, episode 38, Copycat. So this one deals with actually like death. And I was kind of shocked when like I watched this episode because not a whole lot of kids shows like tackle tough topics like this. So what happens is that Bandit wakes up and Bluey like ends up copying his every move. Hence the episode's name, Copycat. You know how like everybody does that at some point in time, you know, with their mom or sister or whatever, just says or does one thing and they copy it. Anyway, so while they're playing outside, Bluey ends up finding an injured budgie, which is just a parakeet, but the quote unquote correct name is just budgie. But she finds this injured bird and she takes the bird, like her and Bandit take the bird to the vet and learned that it actually has died. And Bluey has like a hard time, I guess, accepting this fact. And so to kind of like help her cope with it, she ends up reenacting like the events and it helps her cope with the budgie's death. So like it was such a heartbreaking episode because I'm like, oh no, like she's so sad because like it's dead. And like I said, like not a whole lot of like children's shows, especially like shows that are geared for like really young children. They don't really show that.
No, they don't.
Because it's like, it is a hard thing to, you know, to handle. And it's not always an easy thing to explain. So like, this was such a nice episode to explain that. And it was cute, but it was sad. So that was just one that I felt an impact from. I was like, oh man, my heart, I'll just cry. It's fine. I've been doing that a lot lately. I'm like, I'll just cry. It's fine. Oh my gosh. We mentioned Jean-Luc as a character earlier, who's the French-Canadian Labrador, and you see him in season 1, episode 43, in the episode called Camping. So Bluey and her family are all camping and having a great time, and while she is running around, she ends up meeting a Labrador named Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc doesn't speak a lick of English, he speaks only French. So their interactions are so adorable and so pure. Like, this is just how humanity is supposed to be, but it's not. Anyway. So like, neither of them understand like a word that they're saying verbally, but they somehow figure out a way to speak to each other in like really creative ways. So they end up like speaking to each other like in pictures and like drawn in the sand, and they settle like a small dispute at some point. It's just overall like really, really adorable. And at some point in time, like it's like a few days that they're staying together. And so like they play over the, you know, next couple of days. They build like a little campsite. They act like Bandit is a wild pig and they figure out how to capture him. But like I said, neither of them understand like a single word that they're saying. So
right.
But at some point in time, Jean-Luc leaves and Bluey like gets up the next morning and goes to find Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc's no longer there. And so she's really sad that like her friend is gone and, you know, can't play with them anymore. So at some point she ends up talking to her mom, Chili, and is like, you know, well, I'm really sad that, you know, Jean-Luc is gone. And she kind of like talks her through it. at the end of the episode, it was really cute because it kind of does like a time skip. So Bluey at this point, like at the very end of the episode, is like a teenager and goes over to read a book by the tree that Jean-Luc and Bluey like planted. And then all of a sudden you see Jean-Luc and he just says, "Hello, Bluey." And like, you know, in the French, like English, like he's speaking English,
Language.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like, it's so
get you.
cute. Oh my gosh. Like, it was really wholesome to see. And I like, he's like, "Oh, you know, I learned English and still remembered, you know, my friend and just so happened to, you know, meet them again." And honestly, like so the fan art for this episode is so wholesome. I mean, I've only found like wholesome ones. It's just so cute. Like, just these two friends are just adorable. But it really just kind of shows like, hey, you don't need to like be from, I guess, same world.
Yeah.
Like, so to speak, or the same like continent. So you don't have to speak the same language. You can be completely different and still be friends. So everybody needs to watch this one because everybody needs to realize that we're all human.
I'll need to watch it.
Yeah. Oh man. Season 2, episode 16 is called Army. It deals with Jack. He's a little, obviously, Jack Russell Terrier. This episode delves into ADHD because Jack is described as not being able to pay attention or follow instruction, you know, gets distracted a lot. So obviously, you know, stereotypical and very common, you know, just ADHD symptoms. So I would know I have ADHD. That's why we're on some medicine. That's why I take a small little pill. It also doubles as an antidepressant. It's lovely. Anyway, enough about my meds. Let's see. So Jack goes to his first day at a new school because I guess he was having some trouble at his other school. He just wasn't doing very well. So he ends up going to Bluey's school and he's worried that he will, you know, struggle and whatnot. And, you know, just like his old school. Jack ends up befriending another dog named Rusty who teaches him how to play armory. And the two go on this like cute little adventure where Rusty is like, "I'm your like commander or whatever. You're my private, you know, and you get to follow my orders." They're just reenacting like army stuff and it's so cute. They undergo like quote unquote training and one of them like Jack gets to like shoot, my brain died, it's fine. Jack gets to like,
my brain dies all the time.
It's okay, I get it. But yeah, Jack gets like to look out and, you know, just like I said, they're playing army. It's adorable. But he discovers that he does actually have the ability to like focus and, you know, listen to instruction and actually gets quote unquote like accepted into like, you know, Rusty's like little play army. And it's like really cute because like at some point in time, Rusty and Jack end up discussing, and he's like, Rusty asks, you know, "Oh, well, what happened, you know, at your old school?" And Jack says, "Well, I can't listen. I can't follow instructions. You know, I struggle to sit still." And Rusty's like, "Well, you're really good at playing army," which just says, you know, well, you can do it, but, you know. But yeah, so that's that episode. It's really cute. At some point in time at the end of the episode, Rusty mentions his dad is like, "Oh," because Jack's like, "Well, how do you know so much about army?" He's like, "Well, my dad's in the army." And then like Rusty's dad comes and like picks him up from school as like a surprise. And I'm like, that's adorable. That's cute.
Isn't that cute?
It's cute. I think we mentioned this show, which is the next one of season 2, episode 19, where... No, I did mention the show earlier. That's the one where...
Granddad.
Oh my god. This one pulled at my heartstrings a bit. All of these episodes did, but like this one really, really did. So in season 2, episode 27, it's called Granddad, but Chili takes Bluey and Bingo to visit Granddad at his home near the bush, which, as earlier mentioned, that's just out in the wild somewhere in Australia.
Yep.
He is also recovering from heart surgery. Chili insists that he should be resting, but Granddad refuses, and he's like, "No, it should be my decision, you know, on whether I rest or not." And like, although, yeah, it is, but Chili then just kind of tells him, you know, "Well, I want you to rest because I care, you know, because it's for the best," because he just had heart surgery. So anyway, in this episode, Granddad, Bluey, and Bingo go off like into like a little adventure, running away from Chili as he's like chasing after them. But ultimately, Granddad like just admits, "Hey, I am getting older and I really should be resting." Towards the end of that episode, Chili and her dad end up talking while Bingo and Bluey are playing like in the water. And they, you know, Chili's like, "Oh, well, you know, it seems like so long ago, you know, where you took me to the same place." And he's like, "No, it was yesterday." And I'm like, "Well, I'll just cry. It's fine." I'm like, that's so cute because like, and when you really think about it, like there's some things where I'm like, wow, that happened like a year ago, right? And it's like, no, that's from 2006. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Dang.
I'm like, cool. So like there are instances in, in real life where like, where you have something special happen and it's like, wow, that really does seem like yesterday, but really so much time has passed. But yeah, the episode's just like, hey, slow down. Even though he doesn't want to. It's good. But those are just some like examples. There's so many good episodes that have such really good, like lots of impact and deeper meanings and not just kids playing some games. Like it just has a lot of deeper meaning to it. Those are just some examples though.
Let's talk about some of our favorite episodes and why.
Okay. Did you want to go and do your favorite episodes first?
Sure.
Okay.
So we already went over one, which is the yoga ball. I really like that one just because it's so cute and just a gentle reminder. And if you wanted to watch it, it's season 1, episode 16. I also really liked one, it's episode 21 of season 1 called Blue Mountains. And it starts off as everyone playing as like finger puppets, like on the ground and stuff. So they're kind of like going on an adventure. And Bandit is basically the Blue Mountains as he's kind of like taking a nap and stuff. And it's just a really cute. I love how like the mom and the dad are always involved with the kids' lives and they're always playing with them. And it's just a really cute episode just overall. And then the most recent one that I've watched that I really loved was season 2, episode 9, which is Sleepy Time. And I think that's what it's called, Sleepy Time. Are you still there?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just listening.
Okay. It's fine.
Sorry.
I'm just making sure. No, you're totally fine. So Sparrow does it too. Sparrow will be just like really quiet and be like, wait, is she there? In Sleepy Time, it goes over like how Bingo wants to sleep in her own bed because she's now becoming a grown-up for whatever reason that she thinks she's going to become, a bigger girl. So like the dream starts off with her in space with her favorite like stuffed animal. I think it's Flopsy or Floppy.
Yeah.
And they kind of just go through this little adventure. And it's interesting because they show Bingo's dream and then it also shows Bingo like sleepwalking back and forth. And the same goes on with Bluey and then, of course, Chili, which is the mom, because the mom kind of goes back and forth. And it's just a really, really cute and just like, I don't know, I was watching it and then I didn't realize that I guess I was tearing up because it totally reminded me of like, I miss having dreams like that where it's just totally adventurous and it's okay to want to be big, but also be who you are at the same time. And so I kind of cried at the end of the episode because it was just so adorable. Not like I was sad, not that I was happy. It was just really heartwarming is what it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that found that with that episode too. I enjoyed it. I don't think it made me cry like or tear up at all, but like I definitely felt like the pull at the heartstrings.
Yeah, definitely was some pulling there. And then I really, really, really like the one, I think you put it on here too. Oh, maybe you didn't. It's, I can't remember what episode. Oh, it's season 2, episode 3, and it's dance mode. It's so adorable.
It's so good.
Bingo basically has like 3 turns to make the mom and the dad dance in the most inconvenient situations possible. But what's really interesting is that Bingo was given these 3 turns and Bluey asks for a turn and the mom asks for a turn. And then the dad basically just pays her off and says, okay, no more turns. And it kind of shows that like Bingo's innocence and she was saving the moment for something special. And every time she was trying to think of something special, either her sister or her mom would nag at her for a chance to like dance. And while the episode's really cute, it's also like a good way to kind of remind yourself that, let others kind of make up their own decisions. Don't necessarily nag at them.
Yeah.
But it's a really cute one. And that's probably one of my favorites so far is dance mode.
That one is really good. That's actually my fiance's like favorite episode. So she also just likes the music that plays at the end.
Yeah.
She likes that.
It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Now you.
Oh, cool. Yoga Ball. You mentioned that one. That one's also one of my favorites. That one's been a hot topic in this episode all around.
Yeah.
So I probably won't go over that again, but like that one was just really good. Showed good parenting and whatnot. Oh, shoot. But there is also, I forgot that I kind of smashed these two together. So Yoga Ball and also like the episode, The Weekend also kind of coincides with Bingo, like, hey, I felt a certain type of way and dad didn't listen or something. And then like dad like apologizes for it and they have like a conversation. And it's just really healthy, good parenting. But in The Weekend, Bingo sees a leaf bug, which occasionally, like anytime that like Bingo sees like a cool bug or something, the show does a different sort of animation. Like it gets real close and like detailed, and I love it. It just shows like pure childhood curiosity, and it's so beautifully done. Um, oh my gosh, there was that burp. Excuse me.
You did it.
I did it. Yes, I feel so much better. Oh my gosh. So that was really cute. I like it because again, like dad's like, "Hey, like I'm acknowledging your feelings and, I apologize and this is why and whatever." And I'm like, "That's how parenting's done." That right there. We also mentioned Shadowlands, like early on with like Snickers and whatnot. Shadowlands it is a really fun episode. Shadowlands, I guess for me, I really like that episode because I miss having like the freedom to imagine. Children make up such fun and unique games, and it's something that like I miss. Like I'm really tempted to like really just let like my inner child out like sometime and just like make up some random like just silly game and just do it because adulthood just sucks. And like realistically, we as humans are actually not supposed to just stop playing. It was like a study that was done, but like really adults need to also like play and run and be silly because it's healthy. It's what humans are supposed to do. Like we're not just supposed to be stuck up and do boring, adult things. Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to let go. So like I guess with Shadowlands, like again, even though they play like throughout the show, they're always playing some sort of game that somebody like makes up or something. But for whatever reason, this one really hit me because I think it's because like it's an outdoorsy sort of thing, and I love being outside as a kid, and I still do. For example, Zakiah and I, we actually went out and went on a hike today, and it was really fun. It was a short hike, but like it was fun. We went outside, it was nice, and it wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, and we just got some fresh air, and it was cool. But anyway, I miss that freedom to imagine. It's something that like adulthoods just don't do very much anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's pretty cool for me. I like that one. Midnight, there's a episode where they're just taking out the trash and the recycling like every other night. So and that's all it is. But like throughout the days and whatnot that they do this, Bingo is recounting like stories to Bandit on how like there's a new student at our school and like he's bullying her. And I'm like, man, I relate to you, child, so much. Because growing up was super hard for me because I was bullied like relentlessly. And I like throughout elementary, middle school, high school wasn't too bad, but like elementary, middle school sucked. So like anytime that we would like get a new student, I'm like, well, 9 times out of 10, they're going to hate me anyway. So like, I get it. But like in the episode, they talk about how Bingo is having this problem with this bully and like how they're kind of being off and on. But eventually, I believe if I remember correctly, I think eventually the Bingo and like the said bully like end up becoming friends. And I'm like, well, that's cute. And like sometimes that does happen. I had one person years and years ago. This was when I was like second grade. So itty bitty me. I had this kid who was like bullying me so bad. And then at one point, it got to the point where like my mom had to step in and like talk to this kid. And like eventually this kid like realized I liked like a lot of the things that like he did. And like, but like we ended up having like a lot in common. I wouldn't say that we became friends, but like he didn't mess with me like very much after that. So like that was pretty cool. But like I said, this was just an episode that like I could just really relate to because I'm like, man, Bingo, I know how you feel. Like bullying sucks.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I got you. My favorite episodes, and there's multiple of these, and I love them. They're so good, and they make me laugh, and they're just my favorite. It's anytime that they are pretending to be grannies. It's so funny. Like Bluey and Bingo pretend to be like these little like granny sonas. So like Bingo named themselves like Rita, and then there's Bluey who's Janet, and they're so cute. They get into like these little shenanigans and like silly like old lady things, and it's just adorable. I haven't seen the one that's in season 3 where like Muffin joins in on the granny shenanigans. My fiance has though, and they're like, oh my god, you have to see it. It's so funny, and I haven't seen it, but like, oh my gosh, I just love it. Like, here come the grannies. They wear like cute little outfits. It's just adorable. I actually had it as I think I have a picture. Picture. Wow,
you have a picture.
A picture.
I got me a picture.
I got me a picture. God. I have a picture, goodness, of Bingo and Bluey dressed in their like little granny outfits. I think that's actually it was my Facebook profile picture for like a while, but now it's my phone background. They're riding in their little car and they're just grannies. It's cute. But yeah, those are just some of my favorite episodes.
Awesome. All right. So before we let go for the episode itself, I thought I would do a pop quiz, the ultimate pop quiz of Bluey trivia, straight from the website. So no cheating.
Okay.
I'm just going to randomly ask you questions and see how well you know it because you seem to be an expert.
Oh, I'm not. Okay.
Bluey. I mean, you basically said you know it pretty well.
Oh, thanks. But okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So here we go. Question number 1. What treat did Bluey regret buying in the episode Markets? Was it a silly hat, a song from the busker?
It was an apple. The like candy apple.
Puffer Cheches or toffee apple? Girl, you didn't even let me finish on
I'm sorry.
God. Okay.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Okay, here, you should know this then. In camping, what animal do Bluey and Jean-Luc hunt together?
Oh, it's a wild boar.
A dragon... A what?
Isn't it just the wild boar? The pig? Because it's his dad.
Was a dragonfly, a squirrel, a wild pig, or
wild pig.
A chicken? Let's see, what number 13? Yeah, it's a wild boar. Okay. According to Bluey, horsies love what? Tiles, grass, carpets, or crickets?
I'm going to say it's just grass.
Nope, it's tiles.
Is it tiles? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, tiles.
I can't remember which one that's from. Huh.
What kind of trucks do healers take Bob Bilby on? Who the heck is Bob Bilby?
Oh my God. Bob
Okay,
Bilby.
is it fire truck, a tow truck, an ice cream truck, or a cement truck?
Oh God.
It should be the fairly
fire
obvious
truck,
one.
I think.
Yep, there you go.
Yes.
It's fire truck. How much does Bandit pay for his statue in the Weekend episode? Is it $0 bucks, $5 bucks, $1,000 bucks, or $400 bucks?
I think it's $400 bucks.
The answer is correct. It is $400 bucks. Which of these is not a fruit Bluey eats as a fruit bat? Mango, guava, grapes, banana. Oh, I know this one.
Which one does she not eat?
Yeah. So when she's dreaming about being a fruit bat, they go through like 3 scenes of her eating something off of a tree. What does she not eat? Mango, guava, grapes, or a banana? Here's a hint. One of them doesn't grow on a tree.
It's the grapes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
See, I knew it was grapes, and I was like, I thought maybe it was a banana, and I was like, oh, it's got to be grapes. Okay. This is a barbecue episode. What are Socks's favorite color peppers in barbecue? Shoot.
Is it purple, red, green, or yellow?
It's green. I remember because she says glean instead of green.
Oh, girl. Let me make sure I got this right.
Oh, God. It's got to be green.
It's B. You're right. It's green.
Yes.
I thought it was red. Who says red?
I think it was Muffin.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I just watched that one. What is the name of the rainbow horse in the Markets? Is it Sparkles, Biscuits, Galahop, or Buttermilk?
Oh, it's not Galahop. I know that.
I could phrase it for you. Sparkles is such a lovely horse. Biscuits is such a lovely horse. Buttermilk is such a lovely horse name. That's how she says it.
Oh God.
I'll tell you what.
Think it's
a dairy
buttermilk.
Product. It is, yeah.
Okay.
It's buttermilk.
One of them was named Sparkles, and I'm like, that was throwing me off, but I knew it wasn't Galahop. That was another episode entirely, I think.
All right. Just a few more questions here because there's like 30 of these.
So far, I think I've only gotten one wrong.
Yeah, so you're doing pretty good.
Hooray!
In hide and seek, what does Chattermax eat? Is it A, cheddar snacks, B, cheddar snacks, C, bananas, or D, biscuits?
Is it just chatter snacks?
It's cheddar snacks.
Okay, cool.
You're right. Ding.
Ding.
What's the number on the letterbox of the healer's house that they dance around in the episode Fairies? Is it A, 5, B, 8, C, 6, or D, 2? So that's really confusing. Let me just try that.
Oh, this one.
Is it 5, 8, 6, or 2?
Shoot. Well, shit. I'm gonna say 2.
You're correct.
Yes! Oh my god.
Ding!
Or just put like Bluey. Hooray!
This is an interesting question, especially with the answers. Can grannies floss? Ask your dad, ask your nan, no, or yes with an exclamation point.
Oh my god. So, oh my god, this one's such a trick question because in the episode, I remember because I just watched it. Also, it's a granny episode because I love it. Anyway, so, gosh, in the episode, like Bluey says no. Bingo insists that they can. Bluey says no. However, they end up asking both Chili and Bandit, and they're like, oh, well, ask your grandma. So I'm assuming it's going to be ask your nan?
No. The answer is yes. D. Yes.
See, I knew that because at the end of the episode, they were like, yay, grannies can floss. That's such a good trick question because it's like, well, ask your mom, ask your dad, ask your nan, or is it just yes or no? So that was a good one. So like ultimately, yes, they can. But anyway.
In the episode Calypso, I'm totally struggling now. What does Indy get as a job? A waitress, a teacher, a plumber, or a graphic designer?
Oh, a waitress.
A waitress? You are correct.
Yay!
Ding!
Ding!
All right, let me find my ultimate question here.
Okay.
Let me see here. One that I can totally get you with.
Oh, God. Well, you got me pretty good with the granny's flossing.
Yeah, I did. Okay. In the episode Kids, what stuff does Bandit buy that Bluey doesn't like? Cereal, green stuff, toilet paper, or pecan nuts?
I think this is a season 3 one that I don't think is on there. Wait, I don't know. Oh, God. Is this the one where... I can't remember if this is the one where they're in the store and they're like pretending.
Where am I? I lost my place. There it is.
What's the options again?
So it's cereal, green stuff, toilet paper, pecan nuts. I'll give you a hint.
I think it's just the green stuff.
It's what kids don't like to eat on their plate.
That's just the green stuff.
It's the green stuff.
The green
Yay!
stuff. Hooray! I could not remember if I've seen that one or not. I'm like,
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
Okay.
Well, anyways, if you guys like the show, if you've watched it, you're interested about it, or you want to tell us what you think about the show, just send us an email at talktothemuzzle@gmail.com, or go on to Twitter and go to @FromTheMuzzle and tell us what your favorite episode is and why, or why you like the show. And we're more than likely going to share that answer on our next episode, which is not relevant to the topic. It never is.
Well, we have to go on our side tangents. It's okay.
That's true. We do have to go on our side tangents. Do not go into Fur Affinity and type in Bluey because you'll find things that you shouldn't find.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it. That's
Stay
a little
pure.
word of advice there. Do we have anything else we want to go over before we let go?
Shoot, I don't. Not that I know of. I think we covered. Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm going to put this in the information below. If you don't have Disney Plus, because it is expensive, and you don't have any other subscription services, YouTube's or Bluey.tv, like their main actual company, has a channel on YouTube where they're always streaming seasons 1 and seasons 2 and a bunch of other clips. So if you don't have access to subscriptions and you want to be cheap, you can definitely go to YouTube and watch them there. And then that way you can kind of get caught up. It's always a great solution.
Yay!
Sometimes I fall asleep watching it. I don't intentionally click on them, but somehow my YouTube list automatically goes down to that one. So it's either season 1 or season 2. I'll wake up and be like, I'm watching Bluey. All right. I'm not upset.
It's a good thing to, wake up to. It's fine.
It is. Anyways, folks, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you guys on our next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How do I stop this? Oh, there it is.